What's up, everybody? Got another review for you, and this time we're going to be talking about the movie Him. As odd as it sounds, this is a sports horror film that's directed by Justin Tipping and produced by Jordan Peele. When the first teaser released and I didn't know much of anything, I honestly didn't think much of it. However, when the full trailer released and showed more footage, it managed to grab my attention and it sparked my curiosity to the point where I had to check out this movie. Is it any good? Well, let's talk about it. The movie story follows Cameron Cade, a rising quarterback who suffers a potentially career ending injury after being attacked by an unhinged fan. Just when all seems lost, Cam receives a lifeline when his hero, Isaiah White, offers to train him at an isolated compound. However, as the training accelerates, Isaiah's charisma turns into something darker, sending Cam down a disorienting rabbit hole that may cost him more than he ever bargained for. Well, that was a movie. It was definitely something, that's for sure. The movie itself feels like it's trying too hard to be something that it's not. And that doesn't tell you how I feel about this movie, then let me spell it out a bit easier for you. Obviously, this movie just didn't quite do it for me, and clearly it has a lot of issues, which of course I will talk about later. Right now, I do want to talk about the somewhat good things the movie actually has, whether it be just how completely original it is, the acting from our two main leads, great looking visuals, and has a lot of interesting oddities. First things first, and without giving anything away, but this movie is definitely not your average sports film that you would normally expect. It's an original film that completely nosedives into weird territory with psychological horror. It's something different from what anything we've seen, which I definitely have to give the movie credit for. Next up, let's talk about the acting from the two main leads. Marlon Wayans has always been the GOAT when it comes to comedy films, and it was really jarring to see him in a serious role, at least for me, because I haven't seen him in a serious role in quite some time. Anyways, his performance in this film solidifies him as a tremendous actor, and he really carried this movie. Tyriq Withers, on the other hand, was just as great as well, with his wonderful performance as the film's protagonist. Between both actors, there was no ounce of talent gone to waste. Visually speaking, the movie's cinematography was none other than spectacular to look at. Almost each and every single frame of the movie was meticulously well shot. With the way how the production design was done and how the camera was used, there's a lot of cool looking shots in this movie that are visually stunning. I will say that this is one of the weirdest movies I've seen in quite some time since seeing the movie Weapons. While watching the movie, it honestly felt like a fever dream. Sometimes the oddities work out in the film's favor, and sometimes it's just being strange just for the shock value, which wound up becoming a tad overbearing at times. As for the things about this movie that bother me, well, for starters, let's just say that this movie has some great ideas, but they're not executed very well. It's like the film is just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, and it just turns out that nothing sticks at all. I don't even think the ending paid off very well as well. This can be a very confusing film because nothing in the movie really makes any sense half the time. The film does insinuate things, but it never clearly spells anything out. I don't know if this is intentional from the direction or not, but what I can say is that the writing for this movie is very underwhelming. Generally speaking, this movie is simply hollow and void of any actual soul, so to speak. There are some questionable editing choices that are in the film that I clearly did not like. I get the fact that they were done to create a disorienting psychological horror experience, but it was just too much, especially with the overusage of red lighting, flashing effects, and the unnecessary use of X-ray effects. With all that said, this movie was just alright at most. However, I can't in good conscience recommend this movie when I didn't even have an enjoyable time with it. Overall, Him is one of those films that had the potential to be something great, but it ultimately fumbles to stick the landing. It's definitely a movie that heavily relies on stylistic flair rather than being anything substantial. I can see this movie being divisive, with some people liking it and others that don't. It's clearly not one of the greatest movies, but I didn't absolutely downright despise the film either. If anything, this film is about as average as they come. I give this movie a C+. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Keep up my real reviews.